Hey folks, Mike Naso here with this very early morning, late night update, depending on how you look at it. It's 3:10 a.m. at the time of this recording, Eastern Time, and we are watching a very dangerous major hurricane get very close to the Florida coastline. Here's the satellite radar image, It's been a long night, so I'm a little off. Here's the radar image of our dangerous Hurricane Idalia. Notice there the motion was north, and then it's definitely hooked to the right. It is closing in on the coastline there of the Big Bend of Florida, and that eye wall is very, very powerful. The pressure's been dropping precipitously, and the aircraft zigzagging around out there have measured very, very strong winds. Here's the latest as of 3 a.m. Eastern Time, the 3 a.m. update, hot off the presses. Catastrophic storm surge and destructive winds expected in the Florida Big Bend region this morning when Idalia moves inland. The estimated pressure, 944 millibars. So this thing has deepened a lot over the last 12 hours. And there's recently been a sustained wind of 63 miles an hour with a gust to 78 in the western rain bands and a NOAA buoy. That's nothing. We're going to see much stronger winds as it moves closer to the coast. And we've seen tropical storm force winds along the west coast of Florida during the past hour. It's currently at 28.5 north, 84.3 west as of 3 a.m. Eastern Time, and that puts it about 90 miles west-southwest of Cedar Key, or 140 miles south of Tallahassee. Winds up to 120. It's now a Category 3 major hurricane, and it slowed down a little north at 15 miles per hour. It had been moving at about 18. So it is slowing down a little, which is not good news. The Saffir-Simpson wind scale, we were at a Category 2 last time I spoke to you. We're now in a solid Category 3 hurricane. That's devastating. So we are looking at a very devastating major hurricane impact along the Florida Big Bend region. Here's a look at the water vapor imagery, and it's been dealing with a little bit of dry air. It's not extremely favorable, but it's favorable enough, and those waters are warm enough that this eye continues to strengthen, and it's now a Category 3 hurricane as forecast by the National Hurricane Center, and that motion is now definitely hooking to the right. I notice it was north, but it seems to be dragging east of north, if not even north-northeast, and that's going to put those areas in the hurricane warning area at greater risk of a landfall. So if you're in an area like Cedar Key, it could be really, really bad if you're in the right front quadrant of the hurricane. Hopefully, you've gotten to higher ground and you get away from the water, because that is the main threat, the storm surge. From the Wakulla-Jefferson County line all the way down to Yankeetown, we're looking at a water rise expected upwards of 16 feet, and that does not include the crashing waves on top of that. So again, the right front quadrant of a Category 3, possibly even a Category 4 hurricane. Remember, 944 millibars is a very low barometric pressure. So if those winds respond, those winds could get up 130 miles an hour or more and make it a Category 4. But even if it just stays a Category 3, look at this thing. It is a very dangerous hurricane. It's not large spatially, but that's a lot of energy that's pushing right into that concave of the Big Bend of Florida, with a lot of moisture, severe weather, the threat of tornadoes, as well as heavy, heavy rainfall and surge. Here's the radar again. Look at that eye wall. Very, very powerful right there. It's within that eye wall, that circle I just drew, that those winds are at least 120 miles per hour. And on the right side, you're going to have that onshore flow. So again, Homosassa Springs, Cedar Key, you guys need to be prepared for a very, very bad impact from a major hurricane. If it continues in this direction, if you took a straight line like that, if I zoom in on exactly where it would come ashore, it would probably be somewhere near the Steinhatchee River or Keaton Beach, in that general vicinity. Apalachicola, Port St. Joe, you guys are getting in on some of the action right now. So it's a very, very treacherous morning. Stay away from the water and hunker down, because we're going to have landfall of a major hurricane in Florida later this morning. I'm Mike Naso with continuing video update coverage of Hurricane Idalia. Stay tuned for more as we watch this very powerful hurricane head towards the Florida Big Bend.